guys tired of the 9-to-5 life? Being stuck in a cubicle or a warehouse and shop, basically working the best years of your life away with hopes of one day owning your own business? Well, today I'm gonna help you take a step in the right direction with 5 top mistakes to avoid and a few steps to get you started to leaving your job and starting your very own business. So first and foremost, starting a business really isn't that complicated. At least not as complicated as us business owners want you to think it is. Really, all a business is, whether that's LLC or corporation or whatever we use to make it sound like it's way cooler than it actually is, all it is a stack of papers that your attorney files with the state to make you a registered business. A business could really just be one guy as an independent contractor, meaning you could go out and buy yourself a lawnmower and have your own landscaping business. Or you could start washing and detailing cars and start a detailing business. Or you could get a couple hookers, put them. It's important to understand how simple and cheap this process really is and how close you are to becoming your own boss. Now, you can start your company or corporation with like one of these Rocket Lawyer type websites, but I recommend actually going in and meeting with a local business attorney who can file all your paperwork with the state and make sure that you do everything right the first time. I think whenever I did it, it was like $300 for each of my companies, and it's well worth the money. One common misconception whenever you're thinking about quitting your job and starting a business is that you need to go to college and get yourself a business degree. And this is just so far from the truth. I think out of all degrees, a business degree is the biggest waste of time and money. And the reason is this simple logic. I mean, if you were really to spend 4 years working your butt off and 100 grand investing into product or training or anything when starting your business, in 4 years, you could quite possibly be a millionaire or more. I mean, that's a lot of time to lapse and a lot of money to spend for just a simple piece of paper when you're done with college. And not only that, but you have this piece of paper, but a lot of people struggle to actually find a job and put it to use. And that $100,000, and most importantly, that 4 years in time, oftentimes doesn't give you the same kind of return on investment as if you were to just go and actually do it. Whenever you go out and you actually start a business and you fail, I mean, within 4 years, hell, you could fail 4 or 5 different businesses, and that experience is gonna give you way more value than spending that 4 years and however much money on college tuition. So needless to say, think long and hard about going to college, especially if you're considering going to college for business. I mean, within 4 years of me quitting my job and starting my business, I dropped out of college. Within that 4 years, I mean, I was making multiple 6 figures each year. You really shouldn't underestimate what you could accomplish in that amount of time. So to start a business, you're gonna have to develop some sort of marketable skill. And the more unique or the more skillful you are, the better off you're gonna be when you start your business. For instance, I have a buddy who's a mechanic. He started out in a diesel mechanic shop sweeping the floors, worked his way up, and now he's replacing engines and has his certifications and all that. Really, on the job, he's been paid to develop all of these different skills that now if he wanted to become his own boss, he could take those skills and go work for himself. If I hadn't had my shitty cubicle bank job for 3 years where I learned how to use the computers, I mean, I spent 8 hours a day on the phone, I had to deal with email, different programs. If I hadn't learned those customer service and computer-based skill sets, I don't think I would have had nearly as easy of a time transitioning into starting my own business. I also invested $1,000 into like a real estate training program that I found online, and I do attribute a lot of my early success to that. So whether it's through, just reading books or doing courses or actually on the job, it's developing some sort of marketable skill that you can actually take to the marketplace that someone is going to be willing to exchange money for your services. Another huge mistake you're gonna want to avoid is quitting your job first. So if we go back to my mechanic friend example, sure, he has all the skill sets to do everything in a shop, from cleaning the floors to replacing the engines and everything in between. But the one skill that he doesn't have yet is customer acquisition. He doesn't have a client base. He doesn't have a customer base. If he were to quit his job today and open up a shop, he wouldn't be able to keep the doors open for very long, and he'd be back knocking on his boss's door to go back to work at his 9 to 5 if he didn't have the clientele to keep him busy and keep the income rolling in. However, if he started to pick up an oil change here, a brake job there, just doing little jobs for friends, family members, and referrals, he'd be able to start to build a clientele, a client base that maybe he works with on the evenings or on the weekends, and starts to develop an independent reputation from the business that he actually works for. Once you're so booked up that you just don't have any more side hustle time, all of your evenings and weekends are booked, or you're actually missing out on opportunities for more business because you're stuck in your day job, that's whenever you can start considering quitting the job. And really, you should quit right then and start your business, because at that point you've built a pipeline, you've built a customer base, and you have some sort of consistency. Whereas now, if you were to take all the energy that you spend in your day job and put that into your side hustle, you're gonna have a real business and be able to escape the 9 to 5. Getting started in business can be exciting, but it's really easy to get caught up in all these small little tasks that don't really add up to anything and certainly don't make you any money. So for instance, I could spend 10 minutes making a sales call that maybe turns into thousands of dollars of revenue for my company. Or I could spend 10 months between clearing email, designing logos, working on my website and my social media, and not make a dollar and have to go back to my 9 to 5. It's easy to get caught up in these things thinking that you're being productive, when in reality, you're really just doing busy work and keeping busy. And there is a huge difference. So in your business, you have to identify what are the things that actually give me a return, a return on my time. What's gonna pay me the most per hour? What activities can I focus on? And for me, a lot of times that is just getting on the phone and making calls. And if I don't do that, then I would stop making income. We all have to work on our website. We all have to have business cards. We all wanna have a logo, but those things are not urgent. And so you should really be spending your time on activities that actually bring revenue in for your company, and then doing the other things in your free time. Starting a business and leaving your job is going to be hard. It's gonna take time to develop those skills that we talked about. There's a lot of risk involved. It's not easy, and you're probably gonna wanna give up more than once. But once you get to the point that you're actually making an income, being your own boss, and probably making more than what you made at your day job, you're gonna be so happy you did. The steps to really get going are, of course, first start by building your skills while you still have your day job. Then we're gonna start working on building up a clientele while you still have the day job. And then while you're working on your budding business idea, treat it like a side hustle that you work on in your evenings and weekends. Once your side hustle money is at a point where you could actually live off of it, or you're missing out on business opportunities because you're at work, that's when it's time to jump ship. My videographer, Alec, also followed this same model. He was working a shitty job, working for the airport. He didn't like it. Started picking up some weekend jobs or whatever with me on his days off, doing things here and there, till eventually I had enough work that he was missing out on an opportunity by being stuck at his crappy day job. And so that gave him the opportunity to quit his job. Now he works on his own time, works for himself. So not only does he basically get to work full time with me, but he also has other clientele that he can work with. He's able to make more money. He's able to do it on his own time, and even write off his cameras and equipment now that he's a business owner, and really just focus on improving in his craft, which is his passion, and building YouTube channels and just being a badass videographer. But Alec wouldn't have been able to pull that off if he hadn't been playing around with a video camera since he was 10 years old. He was able to develop a marketable skill set that later became his business. And that's why I say, you know, whether it's a passion or an interest of yours, or it's skills that you've learned on the job, it really will come down to your marketable skill set and being able to turn that into a successful business. So I hope that this video lays out some of the next few steps for you so that you have a clear path on how to escape your 9-to-5 and start a business by relating to my story as well as some of my friends today. So I appreciate you watching and listening. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit the like button and of course subscribe to the channel to follow us on the journey to real estate millionaire. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.